excited to bring an unboxing video to y'all. Y'all know I love a good wide margin Bible. They are just designed for making notes and really marking up a Bible and making it your own. So this is the wide margin. You can still find these. Let me tone down the light here a little bit on my deal. There we go. You can still find these on places like eBay and such, but it's a wide margin reference Bible, and it's a campus hardcover black letter. So it doesn't have the red letter in it. It's called the campus hardcover, but I'm really excited about it. It's a little taller than, it should be a little taller than the Bible based on the dimensions that I got. We'll see if that's correct. It should be just a little taller. No, pretty comparable to the Cambridge wide margin, which I can't wait to do a 1-year crash test of this. We'll get into this one later. And then it should be just a little thinner. Yeah, it's going to be a little thinner, as you can tell, from the Cambridge wide margin. So let's go ahead. Let's open this up. Wide margins, 1.25 inch for note taking. And let me see if I can get a measuring stick out just to be able to show that here in a second. Let me get this out of the way. Double column paragraph format. And let me see if we can brighten things up a little. You know what? That light is kind of buggy. I'm going to turn my overhead on, and I'm going to turn the light on my overhead camera off. Let's see if that does better. It's probably better. Over 80,000 cross-references, concordance with other 14,500 references, and then full color maps, black letter text. And you can see upon opening this up that the Holy Bible and then the stamping there is there. And then you have more of a it's a printed gold lettering on the spine, but it's not stamped in like it would be etched in, or definitely no spine hubs raised like you would find in a kind of a leather. But from what I've been researching, as far as a wide margin goes, doing a hardback can be a real win. So let's go ahead and take this off. You know, right off the bat, not as wow, you know, it doesn't have that wow factor of a some kind of leather like a goat skin, but again, it will lay pretty flat from what I've been told. It has the wide margin reference, crossway, ESV, English Standard Version, the ESV symbol, and then Holy Bible on the top right there. So let's slowly open it up, and then it's got, as you can tell, it's got it. I'll see if I can get closer to it. Yeah, it's got this kind of nicely stamped into the front there. Yeah, read a lot of articles, done a lot of research. There's a heavy, very thick cardstock page there. Found that hardbacks can be much more doable for note taking. So we'll see. Printed in the United States of America, published by Good News Publishers, the wide margin reference edition, English Standard Version, copyright 2007 by Crossway Bibles. There. I'll read right off the bat. This is supposed to have a 9-point font. I'm going to tell you, right off the bat, I can see the font size difference in this hardback when compared to the Cambridge. Maybe you can as well. I'll turn to Isaiah 29 real quick while I'm on it. Isaiah 29. And let's see if you can tell. Psalm, Proverbs. Now, right off the bat, okay, these are just first impressions. Psalm, let's see, Isaiah 29. Okay. I'm trying to find Isaiah, Psalm, Proverbs. Psalm. There we go. Isaiah 29. I can tell you right now, it's laying super flat. This one's laying super flat. And I personally like that there is no column right here on the spine. I prefer the top, bigger, the big sides and the bottom. I just think it's always a real challenge to write notes in here. And you'll see a comparison of the two. So there you have it. You can see there's a quality difference. You've got the goatskin leather. You've got, the nicer ribbons here. This one doesn't even have a ribbon, from what I understand. Yeah, no ribbon. I can put a ribbon in. That would be a venture for me. I'm not quite there yet. You can see noticeably as you get in closer and compare the two, a thicker font. However, the paper quality in the Cambridge is better. 36 GSM on the paper in the Cambridge, much more opaque. It is line matched, and I don't see in here, I see it's close to the lines, but nope, it is not line matched in the hardback here. However, the paper feels like it's a thicker paper. I'm not sure what the paper thickness is, but thick enough. It's definitely thicker than your standard. It would be thicker. So you got a Pitt Minion here, okay? This paper is super thin, okay? This is the Pitt Minion. This paper is definitely, noticeably right off the bat, significantly thicker than the paper that you would have in a Pitt Minion, which I need to do a one-year review on this one as well. I have a system in place currently where I have been using the wide margin Cambridge goat skin, and then for my note-taking, personal Bible study, and then my church scripture reading, a little bit of a thicker font, the diadem, which all of the pages are like the exact same layout, and this, and then for hospital visits and home visits and pastoral care, I carry my Pitt Minion with me, which is great on the go. So that's the system. I'll have to do an update video on how the system's working, as well as a one-year crash test, mainly on the wide margin, because that's the one I use the most. But back to the wide margin reference in hardback. Again, you can find these on eBay and such. You got your books of the Bible, books of the Old Testament, books of the New Testament. Plenty flat. And hey, you got lots of space in here for note-taking and such, writing down quotes, etc. You got your preface, the translation philosophy, translation style, translation specialized terms, textual basis, to God's honor and praise, etc. And you got explanation of features included in this, the section headings, the center column cross-reference system, which that is referring to the center column. Same, it's not the exact same, I don't believe, as the Cambridge. It might be. I don't think it is, though. And they probably updated by the time they probably updated it. In fact, most likely they did. Let me check. This is turning into a comparison video of the two. So what text is this? Copyright 2001. Okay, so this is the 2016 text. So you're going to get an updated text in this one. So that alone might be a deal breaker for some folks. That would make them not want to do the 2007 here. My initial response, my initial thoughts, as I take a look at this face just right off the bat, is I really prefer this layout over the Cambridge layout for the margins, for the note-taking. Got a generous space here, generous space on the side, generous right here, and it's also thinner. And so carrying this around, this would be an easier carry-around Bible. You could take your notes in this. I can do prep for sermons, prep for my Sunday school, my Connect group class, and be able to carry this around with a lot more ease than the more squared off Cambridge. Not a, Well, that's a pretty big difference, actually. I was about to say not a big difference, but I think there's a bit of a difference there. But I'll still carry the Cambridge around. Okay, so at the end of the book, every book starts with a introduction to the book, which I really like. Cambridge Wide Margin doesn't have this, and it doesn't start like some Bibles will start the next chapter right after the ending verse of the previous book of the Bible, and then they'll just start the new book right there. But I like that there is a space here at the end of each book where you can jot down notes, and there's plenty. I like to write like key themes, key quotes, key takeaways, key verses as I go through a wide margin and highlight them here at the beginning of the book. I love a good book introduction. That was my first Bible. It was a Schofield KJV. And that's what they had. And this layout is what I'm really familiar with. And I like that a lot. I mean, as far as note-taking goes, this is a great layout for note-taking. I can just see this really going well. My Pigment Micron pens, Ruth ends, a little bit of space there at the end of Ruth. 1 Samuel. A little more space at the end of 1 Samuel, introduction, so you can get an idea of the consistency of each. Sorry, I'm trying to center that here. We'll just have to widen it out a little. Oh, here, why don't I lower the camera like that? There we go. All right, a little lower, and I think we're in business. Boom. Okay, I'll keep it right there. First Chronicles, Second Chronicles here. Decent amount of space here for notes. Start the next book. Introduction. Generous wide margins. One thing that's unique about this layout that is different from the Cambridge, as you'll notice that the center column reference, there's these lines right here that divide the center column cross references from the text. You can see it runs all the way down. Yeah, we took some notes on that page. Did some interleaving. We got to do a review on that, a one-year crash test. And then you have the lines going all the way down to separate them. You don't have that with these. But if you're like me and you like to use these and things like these markers and such, that's not a big deal for you. That's really not a big deal for you. You're going to be dividing and writing, and a few less lines can be a good thing, because then what markings you make can be more defined. So anyway, this is going to be, let's check out the Psalms. Yep, verse by verse in the Psalms, laid out poetically, which I really like. Yep. Let's jump over to the Gospels. All right, look at all those cross references in there. You can jump around. The cross references are small, but they are legible. You can read them. And you can go find those cross references and see how they connect with the verses they correlate with. End of Revelation, space, blank page, weights and measures, blank, concordance, abbreviations, and then you're into a great concordance here, lots of space on the top and bottom, no space in the middle, of course. It goes like that for a little ways. Solid concordance, solid concordance. Okay, basic maps. A little more of a cardstocky. There's a coating on these pages. Mystery of Jesus. And then it ends. The Missionary Journeys of Paul. And then it ends. And you've got this page. This one came with the ESV Bible for Life. I think it's an online resource. Discover more than 100 highly creative ESV Bible editions. Free ESV Bible resource CD-ROM. Interesting. Huh. I wonder if that still works. I'll have to find out. But there you have it. Good old hardback. You can still find them. If you go on Amazon, you really don't need. I'm gonna tell you, I think I'm gonna end up liking the hardback for note taking, and possibly remains to be seen because I haven't gotten into it. There's a high likelihood that this format for taking notes on my lap. One of the challenges that I've faced with the floppy, flimsy, which I love a floppy, flimsy Bible, but taking notes in this in church is a challenge, and I don't know. I think that maybe having this flat on my lap, less juggling, attention drawing, really juggling in a church service. There's a lot to say for a simple, basic hardback, and so you can go. I think that they're not. There's some on eBay. There's some on Amazon. I've got one from Amazon, a different layout that's going to be coming in the mail that I'm going to do a comparison to. But I know for a fact I'm going to be using these for personal study, and I'll be wanting to gift these to others. And really excited. So we're gonna have more videos coming down the line, down the pike, as I get to using these. I don't think I'm going to start this year. I might start it next year, and then we will just kind of see how it goes, and then eventually the next 3, 4, 5 years we'll do a big showdown between this wide margin. I've also got the top grain leather English Standard Version wide margin. That's the one where rather than having the cross references is in the center, it's in the bottom right corner. So we're gonna have a showdown between the main doable, purchasable wide margins, but I'm going to get use out of all of them. So looking forward to that. Hope this review was helpful as you decide what your game plan would be with future wide margins. I have an old Cambridge, and I have a hardback. One of the old, I got it on eBay. It's coming. It's in the mail right now. But I've got a wide margin in the Cambridge layout coming in. It's in a hardback. It's a NASB. And so I'm looking forward to switching over to the NASB coming up here in the near future for personal study, a little closer to the original language. So looking forward to that. So please stay tuned for more Bible reviews and comparisons. And also, please stay on standby for an upcoming review of the system that I did a video on earlier, and that's with the Cambridge wide margin diadem and pit minion, and also got to do a video on a 1-year review for the Cambridge wide margin and show you. I had my system change. I had a system in place for note taking, borrowed some from Matthew Everhart and other YouTubers, and then took a little bit of a step back and then created my own note-taking system. I'm really excited about it. I've been using it for the past month now, and I think it's what I'll be sticking with. So thank you for your participation in the channel. God bless you. Take care.